sure this is not zoomed in. Oh, no. Okay, that was fine. So, the power of truth, and I think there's something supremely beautiful about truth. And this has to do with how I was putting things in some recent conversations I was having with some teachers that I was kind of introducing the project that I'm doing to graduate from my community college program of sciences. And it's a multimedia project. It's a mixture of visual art, so it's illustration, science write-up, so kind of a research paper, and this kind of thing, so philosophy on tape. And I was connecting these three things: philosophy, science, and art, by positing that the same thing in the three. There's something common in the three that makes good science, that makes good art, that makes good philosophy. And the unifier is something that can be broken down into honesty and facts. And what I mean by that is that something that is both honest and factual. I think in the line of reasoning that I'm thinking about this right now, is that's what composes truth. That's what truth is. Truth is not just a dead fact. Truth is fact that resounds, fact that can be applied, fact that makes itself manifest in the way that we see the world, the way that we interact with the world, the way that we can imagine and bring fruit out of what we know and out of what we can do. I think that is what truth is. And what is beautiful about that is that what is beautiful about that is when an artist makes an artwork, there have been some debates in the past over, what is more meaningful, what is better, I guess on the intellectual side of things. Because there has been a lot of reluctance of people who are more appreciative of classic art to really embrace the whole modern abstract movement because of an unfortunate lack of substance. There has been much experimentation, but I think now the kind of things that have been experimented with are now used as an excuse to not put as much forethought into our artwork, to our contemporary art. But the same thing can be said about classic art. There is a difference between something that is only a picture, a photograph of a scene, or might as well be a photograph of a scene, a hyper-realist representation of a scene. And there's a difference between that and something that takes advantage of realism in order to make a connection with us. Representing a real scene that has relevance in terms of humanity, or certain ideas that have to do with our humanity. So yes, there's a difference between a short story that is merely a literal recounting of the average man's trip from home to work, and a story that is saying that has to do with the human condition. I guess what I'm saying is that there's a difference between a technical piece, I guess I can say, and an artistic piece, you know, of I guess visual work, of I guess visual art or anything else. I mean, there is a difference between just one note being pressed on a piano over and over again with no beat or whatever, or at all. There's a difference between that and you know, something that has more emotional impact and variety. Now my hands are starting to get cold, unfortunately, but I will tough it out because I like where this video is going. So that reluctance that I'm talking about has to do with artists putting their art out in the world and being content with their artwork only meaning what the beholder wishes it to mean. And I think just that alone, if that is by itself, without any other forethought or any other I guess intellectual effort on the artist's part, I think that is a kind of laziness, a kind of showing of a lack of ideas on the part of the author, a lack of honesty on the part of the author. Because when an artist has no, if an artist himself does not see anything in his own artwork, his art is a lie. It's a lie. And he is lying to you when you go and see his artwork and expect there to be meaning in it. And for you to be deceived into thinking that the artwork is what you think it is. And I think an honest work of art can be something that only represents what the artist wanted it to be. Because that is honest. But I think the best art, and I think this is going to meet people in the middle, you know, on the side of people who wish art to be connected with the world, not only honest but factual. Something that can stand on its own, something that you know, the artist doesn't have to what's the word, babysit. It doesn't have to hold the viewer by the hand, hold the beholder by the hand to show them what the art means. That the art can live on its own and can even mean things that the artist did not think of. And I think the difference between that and the artist just kind of like, okay, whatever, what people think what people want it to mean is what it means. I think the difference between the two is that it is kind of in the middle. I think truth, that is what truth is. Truth is something that when an artist says something true, when an artist is honest, but when an artist is speaking a truth, so to speak, you know, in whatever kind of art form that they're expressing themselves in, there is something, they know what they are saying, they understand, they have an understanding of the feelings that they are expressing and the meaning behind the art that they are making. But when you are saying something true, you're saying more than what you understand of what you're saying. Because you are saying something real about the world. You are saying something real about yourself, and you don't fully understand yourself. You don't fully understand the world. We only have a fraction of an understanding about the world. But we're still able to say true things about the world. We're still able to be honest about how we interpret the facts that we are beholden to. And that is, I think, where this kind of look at beauty comes from. I think that's where the power of truth comes from, is that it can be applied. And this is where science and philosophy comes in. What's great about science isn't only the descriptive power of science, because I can describe anything. I can imagine a falsehood and describe it. But it has no bearing on my life if I invent something that has no connection with the world and describe it. It's not the descriptive power of science that is fascinating. What is beautiful about truth is that it can be applied in multitudes of ways. It's applicable. I can bring it from one circumstance and apply it to another circumstance, and it'll still hold true. So many different people are going to see the same artwork that had a meaning. It was very meaningful to the artist. The artist put his thoughts and his ideas and his technique and his view of the world into this artwork. And because we have things in common, we're going to appreciate what the artist meant. But we are also going to see things that pertain to our reality, to our life, to our view of the world. And that, I think, is what makes good art. That's what I think makes good science. And that's what I think makes good philosophy. We're not just debating over how many angels can fit on the tip of a pin. We're coming up with things that speak to us, and that can create a coherent conversation with the world. In that we're not just speaking into the void. That these ideas take root in reality, and they bring forth something real. And I think that's what makes the feeling of aha, I understand. That kind of feeling of being beholden to beauty when we're thinking of an idea, when we feel that we have understood something. And that feeling of understanding is, I think right now I'm thinking that it's the impact, it's the meaningfulness of an idea, of a work of art, of discovering something scientific even, and having kind of like had this kind of philosophical epiphany. It's that meaning comes from something is meaningful because it is both honest and factual. It's because it's true. You are understanding something about yourself, something real, not something fantastical. So I have to go see a teacher now, and I think I've laid down this idea. I've said the minimum that I need to say in order to express the idea that I wanted to. And my hands are just really getting numb now. But anyway, so that's a little 21 and a half minute video there. I hope you can appreciate. I'll post this as a response to Nathan's video. And I would like to continue talking about the beauty aspect, because I think I can now make a marriage between what I'd started saying about how aesthetic beauty is a kind of fertile ground, and now this kind of thing that I've come to an end with in this video, about how you get this feeling of being beholden to beauty when you discover truth. I think there's something to be said about, there's something to interchange between the two. Anyway, so I like that little connection that I've kind of started to make. Anyway, later then.